One Zambia, One Nation. Thank you for joining us on this edition of Zanis News. And to present the news, I am Sarah Miti. Top stories in the news today. Government launches Agricultural Asset Plus Loan Scheme. Digitalization of councils to enhance data management. Women advised to check for ovarian cysts. Zanis News in detail. President Hakainde Hichilema has reiterated his government's position to investing more in the education sector. Speaking at the National Institute of Public Administration, NIPA, and Evelyn Horn College Combined Motivation Talk, President Hichilema said investing in human resource is the best inheritance his administration can give to the people of Zambia. The president echoed that government believes education breeds unity and empowers youth to shape the future of the country. He has since announced that the intended increase in the 2024 Constituency Development Fund, CDF, will see most of it going towards school bursaries, water, and sanitation. The head of state has since donated a 100,000 kwacha each to both institutions to support in the running of the two colleges. The president also donated a bus to NIPA to ease student movement.
As promised earlier this week to continue interacting with the citizens to mark the UPND's 2 years in office, President Hakainde Hichilema was at the National Institute of Public Administration NIPA and the Evelyn Horn College for a combined motivational talk. The head of state had a tough time driving to the main venue at NIPA as excited students demanded to work with him. And in his speech, the president said his government will continue to invest in the education sector as a way of shaping the country's future.
You can do great things. As I looked at you shouting, Bali, Bali, I said, these guys are lucky. At their age, they can do great things. But this government will support you, create an environment for you to do those great things. So water and sanitation, skills. For the first time, Lusaka Central, never happened in the history of this country. Lusaka Central constituents can choose and award scholarships for skills. Never happened before. Always the scholarships were done at a bursaries committee, centralized. And what was happening was children of the connected were the ones getting bursaries. Not anymore. You don't need to know anybody. Because in Kawambwa, the constituents in Kawambwa will give students skills training support right there in Kawambwa.
Education Minister Douglas Hichilema also emphasized the need to invest in the sector.
If you cannot invest in your own people, the people that you see, you can never invest in mining. You can never invest in metallurgy. You can never invest in anything. Thank you. World over, it has been proved every country which today is industrialized, they invested in their own people first of all.
Students from both NIPA and Evelyn Horn College were appreciative of government's strides in improving their welfare.
Your continued efforts have seen Evelyn Horn College students benefiting from these schemes. Mr. President, sir, allow me to report to you that your government has made Evelyn Horn College flooded with students under bursaries and indeed CDF. For this reason, sir, we as an institution seek your assistance in building a much bigger school library and a lecture theater.
The talk was also attended by management of both institutions and the UPND leadership. Later, President Hakainde Hichilema undertook a surprise visit to Evelyn Horn College where students went wild in excitement. The head of state, who was in a jovial mood, took time to interact with the excited students. President Hichilema has since donated 100,000 kwacha to each institution, a borehole to either institution to avert the water challenges, and a school bus for NIPA, and has promised to deal with some challenges brought before him, especially in the area of student accommodation. Kalan Muchima, reporting for Zanis in Lusaka.
Secretary to the Treasury Felix Nkulukusa says the agriculture sector is the cornerstone of the Zambian economy as it contributes significantly to national development. Mr. Nkulukusa has since praised the Public Service Microfinance Company for launching the Agricultural Asset Plus loan scheme to enable and empower public service workers to venture into agricultural sector. He said this in a speech read for him by Ministry of Finance and National Planning Permanent Secretary Daniel Chisenda during the launch of the Enhanced Public Service Agricultural Asset Plus loan scheme in Lusaka. More in the following report by Sandev Walia.
Agriculture is a key sector in the Zambian economy that provides economic opportunities for approximately 80% of the population. This is why the Public Service Microfinance Company has launched the Agricultural Asset Plus loan scheme aimed at empowering public service workers with funds to enable them venture into the agriculture activities. Secretary to the Treasury was represented at the launch.
Agricultural sector. Agriculture, as all you know, forms the cornerstone of our economy, touching lives, shaping communities, and standing as a symbol of our self-sustainability and progress. To fortify this sector further, it's imperative that financial instruments not only cater for the needs of the Public Service Microfinance Company, but also evolve in tandem with the changing times and requirements.
And Public Service Microfinance Company Executive Officer highlighted the various incentives the Public Service Microfinance is giving out to public service workers.
Public Service Microfinance basically aims to support the public service not only in the day-to-day work life, which contribution is never undervalued, but is highly appreciated. We aim to also empower public service workers to undertake economic activities at a personal level, and basically this also contributes to the national economy. I think this far we're testimony the last 10 years in existence as Public Service Microfinance Company. We have grown to a level where we're able to cater for the workforce of I think our loan stands around 40,000 today as I speak. So in different products, that is not just as one product listing. We started off with the 5% cash loan, moved on to about 8 products. And I think those are very successful.
Meanwhile, Minister of Defense Permanent Secretary urged the men and women in uniform to venture into agriculture before retirement.
This PS is to see the defense forces in their individual ways contribute to economic development. And therefore it's very, very simple that we are saying to each soldier, each officer, 10 years before you retire, start thinking of how you are going to retire. And one of the easiest ways to prepare for retirement is to get a field and get fertilizer, start practicing what you are going to do after retirement.
For Zanis in Lusaka, I am Sandev Walia.
In Luapula Province, Provincial Permanent Secretary Mighty Mumba says the actualization of the decentralization policy by government has given local authorities autonomy to operate more effectively. Mr. Mumba was speaking when he commissioned a 1x3 classroom block at Lukwesa Primary School, constructed at a total cost of over 730,000 kwacha using Constituency Development Fund, CDF. We have more in the following report by Lewis Changwe.
Authority in Mwense district has continued handing over projects implemented using the Constituency Development Fund. The local authority has since handed over a 1x3 classroom block at Lukwesa Primary School, constructed at a total cost of over 730,000 kwacha.
The commissioning of this classroom block is a beacon of hope for our children's future. This new facility will motivate our young minds to embrace learning. The presence of a conducive learning environment is vital for the growth, and we are proud to have achieved this milestone.
Luapula Province Permanent Secretary Mighty Mumba commissioned the project.
This accomplishment not only enhances the learning environment for our children,
but also signals a reduction in absenteeism. It is my privilege to urge all stakeholders to continue with their steadfast support for government initiatives like this one. May I call upon our community members to unite and work together in order to forge a path that ensures government interventions yield the intended results.
Meanwhile, Chieftainess Lukwesa cautioned members of the community against theft and vandalism.
Nomba ngatwala kitaba abomba ngefifine babomba na wanu yeta ikumene magrasi mwasotola amalaiti mwafumya mulete tegera kaidi ubuteka bukabwela bukese bomba fili afini ifi batukulirechi tirefu aiku okusungwa bwino.
Lewis Changwe, Zanis, Mwense, Luapula Province.
In Lusaka, the University of Zambia says it is conducting research to help small-scale farmers come up with new innovations that will help improve on their crop yield. Unza School of Agricultural Sciences Dean Thomas Kalinda says the advent of climate change has negatively affected crop productivity for many farmers. Details in the following report by Lakson Makosa.
Poor farming techniques practiced by some smallholder farmers has adversely affected the soil fertility, thereby resulting in low crop yield, posing a threat to food security at household and national level. In a bid to improve the soil fertility, farmers have been advised not to completely remove crop residues after harvesting so as to return nutrients in the soil.
It's important to then rotate the crops so that some of the plants, they'll take up certain nutrients and put back a different nutrient. And so I would encourage simple techniques such as residue retention. When you harvest your crop, leave the residues in the plant, in the field, and where possible you can incorporate the residues in the soil so that they can then decompose, and after decomposition, some of the nutrients are taken back into the soil.
And the University of Zambia says it is conducting research so as to come up with innovations aimed at helping small-scale farmers improve their crop yield in the wake of climate change.
Farmers have been producing less because of those climatic stresses. So in our school, we are doing research which will come up with ideas to mitigate the impact of climate change. And this has been through promotion of climate-smart agricultural practices.
Meanwhile, a 3-day training workshop on climate-smart soil nutrient and water management for crop production, organized by the University of Zambia School of Agricultural Sciences in collaboration with the Regional Universities Forum for Capacity Building in Agriculture, has opened in Kafiwe, with a call to participants to come up with innovative ways that will enhance smart agriculture in the country.
The training is typical of the kind of activities that the university management would like to encourage. You may wish to actually note that the university is in a hurry to change things. The university is in a hurry to impact, the nation, especially as it relates to agriculture.
Reporting for Zanis, I'm Lakson Makoza.
We cross over to Central Province, where Provincial Minister Credo Nanjua says government is making strides to guarantee realization of the right to free and fair trial through the Legal Aid Amendment Act of 2021. Speaking in a speech read for him by Kawe District Commissioner Lennox Chimwambwa during the launch of the paralegal desk at Mukobeko Medium Correctional Center, Mr. Nanjua said the establishment of the legal desk at the center will enhance justice delivery and reduce on congestion in Kawe-based correctional facilities.
In an effort to enhance justice delivery and reduce on congestion in correctional facilities, government through the Prisoner Future Foundation, under the Enabling Access to Justice, Civil Society Participation and Transparent, INACT, has launched a legal desk at Mukobeko Medium Correctional Facility. Central Province Minister Credo Nanjua was represented by Kawe District Commissioner Lennox Chimwambwa at the launch.
New Dawn government, under the leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema, through the 8th National Development Plan, 2022-2026 under Development Outcome Number 2 and National Vision 2030 has committed itself to enhancing equal access to justice, especially for the poor and vulnerable groups, such as persons with disability, children, and women.
The legal aid is happy that the paralegal desk has been set at Mukoweko Medium Center.
Something that needs every citizen to accept it, support it. We know that it's not easy for stakeholders to accept such concepts where you find people are helping people perceived to have been condemned by the society.
Meanwhile, Kabwe Chapter Communication Cooperation Initiative Chairperson Liswaniso Wamundila and Prisoner Future Foundation Adesti Mukangwa feel the legal desk will enhance access to legal aid.
The launch of this desk today, the paralegal desk, indeed, no doubt about it, it will benefit the inmates at this correctional facility. Not only this one, but even the other facilities which are closer to here.
Individuals spend undue time in prisons due to prolonged detention, which is caused by failure to access legal aid services. The guest of honor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, access to justice is a fundamental human right in itself and essential for the protection and promotion of all other civil, cultural, economic, political, and social rights.
Lamatsama Liwanga reporting for Zanis in Kabwe, Central Province.
Now, the Local Government Service Commission, LGSC, says the digitalization of councils in Eastern Province will bring about efficiency in data management. LGSC Deputy Commission Secretary Administration and Corporate Services, Corinne Vola, says the embracing of e-governance in local authorities is key as it will enhance effective delivery of services.
Local Government Service Commission says the digitalization of councils in Eastern Province will bring about efficiency in data management. The team from the Commission, which has completed its inspections on the operations at the Chipata City Council today, held a meeting with the members of staff.
The second objective of our visit has been to ensure that we implement or we begin to actualize the Local Government Management Information System, LGMIS. You are aware, colleagues, Your Worship, that the government created the Smart Zambia Institute in order to ensure that we move away from the paper-based transactions to reduce the cost and also to create effectiveness and efficiency in the running of government by ensuring that we are all digital, we all go e-government. Our role is to ensure that staff are there with the right qualifications in order to ensure quality service delivery, human resource audit. We want to ensure that our officers' qualifications are actually tallying with the officers that are present in the local authorities. In all the districts of Eastern Province, Your Worship.
And Provincial Local Government Officer Alex Walia has commended the Commission for the enlightening.
We don't want people who are going to be supervised all the time. We want people who are going to be self-supervised for the work that they are called for to do. So, as the Mayor mentioned it, we need indeed to pull up our socks and do the best in order to provide good service to the people. The people need service from us.
Sylvester Shimba for Zanis in Chipata District.
In Muchinga Province, Chinsali District Education Board Secretary Irene Kambala Koko has challenged teachers to continue advocating for inclusiveness of learners with disabilities in the district. Ms. Kambala Koko says in a bid to achieve equality in schools, there is need for education facilitators to strengthen their advocacy for inclusiveness of learners with disabilities along other children. Here's a report by Henry Lumpa Jr.
A bid to improve inclusiveness for learners with disabilities in order for them to enjoy various services that their peers enjoy while accessing education. Stakeholders such as the Site Savers Zambia have been engaging government through the Ministry of Education in training teachers to continue advocating for inclusiveness for learners with disabilities. Speaking during a review meeting for Tusambiri the Chapamo project under Site Savers Zambia, Chinsali District Education Board Secretary Irene Kambala Koko has since challenged teachers to strengthen their advocacy.
I just want to challenge you during this meeting to work towards the theme of this project. And for me, all the review should be centered on this, including all the ideas we'll be discussing here, you'll be sharing. You should be thinking in your boxes where have I thrived as an individual in implementing this project? Where have I failed?
And the Tusambile Chapamo Programs Manager under Site Savers Zambia, Austin Tolokesi, gave an overview of the project.
For a very long time, children with disabilities were left behind. So through this project, they have been given the opportunity for them to be in school. And as you are aware, that education is the best equalizer. And if you deny education to a child with a disability, meaning that you are multiplying their disability. Why? Because their life chances are very slim. So as a project, we have a number of activities that we do. And one of the activities that we do, we have an activity that we call Partner Review Meeting.
Henry Lumpa Jr., Zanis in Chinsali, Muchinga Province.
In empowerment news, about 700 marketeers in Siavonga district have benefited from the Citizen Economic Empowerment Commission CEEC Market Booster Loans. Siavonga District Commissioner Geoffrey Jacopo says marketeers who benefited from the CEEC Market Booster Loans got 1,000 kwacha and 2,000 kwacha each and are expected to pay within 6 months with an interest of only 8%. Here's a report.
Government has prioritized improving the living standards and has therefore divested various community empowerment ventures in order to empower the society for greater development. In Siavonga district, about 700 people have been empowered through Citizen Economic Empowerment Commission CEEC Market Booster Loans aimed at helping small entrepreneurs grow their businesses.
About 700 marketeers have benefited from the market booster loans. I would also want to appeal to those others that still wanted to apply to also do so.
Siavonga District Commissioner Geoffrey Jacopo calls Citizen Economic Empowerment Commission beneficiaries to consider paying back the loan as it is a revolving fund.
When you are given these loans, it's 1,000, 2,000 kwacha, make sure that we pay back because these are revolving loans so that others can also access them. Repayment is cardinal.
Brandina Rambwe, Zanis, Siavonga District, Southern Province.
In health news, a consultant obstetrician and gynecologist from the University Teaching Hospital, Wyson Munga, has called on women in the country, especially those in reproductive age, to regularly visit health facilities and have themselves checked for ovarian cysts. Dr. Munga says cases of ovarian cysts are common in women, and if not detected early, they can cause a number of health challenges such as infertility. Details in the following report.
According to the World Health Organization data, approximately 116 million women, especially after puberty, suffer from ovarian cysts globally. An ovarian cyst is a sac filled with fluid or semi-solid material that forms on or within one or both of the ovaries in women. The main causes of the cyst is not yet known, but women in reproductive age suffer from hormonal imbalances that lead to menstrual irregularities, infertility, and other health complications. A consultant obstetrician and gynecologist from the University Teaching Hospital UTH, Wyson Munga, explains more about ovarian cysts.
Infections. So if there are infections on the female reproductive parts that go up and affect the lower part of the tummy, below the belly button, that's called the pelvic area. So if you have severe infections of the pelvic, some of those infections may actually lead to cysts forming or growths forming on the ovaries that are cystic in nature, in short, ovarian cysts. So infection can cause cysts that are not normal. Number two, we are talking about cysts that can result from the abnormal activity of the cells of the ovaries. So if the abnormal activity occurs in the reproductive cells of the ovaries, those cells that produce the eggs, so we call them germ cells in our language, then you can have cysts that are called demoid cysts, okay, or teratomas. Never mind those big words. But what it is that these cells are resulting from the reproductive cells, and they can grow big, by the way. They can grow big to the extent that they can fill the whole tummy of a lady, looking like she's pregnant or something like that.
Some ovarian cysts are cancerous, and Dr. Munga explains how women can protect themselves from such complications.
The of the cyst depends on the type of a cyst. So those natural ones, no need to do anything. We know they will come disappear, because they are part of the natural makeup of the body. Okay? And then the ones that are due to infection, it's to treat the infection. So you treat the pelvic infection, the cyst may also disappear. Then those that may complicate either by twisting, a twisted ovarian cyst, those are the ones you hear like, oh, there was an emergency operation because someone was in severe pain because an ovarian cyst had twisted. So you have to operate and remove it.
Some women talk to have called for more sensitization on the matter.
I've heard about ovarian cyst. It's a serious issue that is affecting women. I think what the government should do through the Ministry of Health is that they need to sensitize more so that we can get more information, so that a lot of women like from the rural areas should get more information about it.
Ovarian cyst is my first time hearing about it, but just after hearing about it, I think it's high time for us women started visiting the hospital for checkups to avoid the complication that may come with it.
Namkale Nashtalwe reporting for Zanis in Lusaka.
And lastly in the news, Zambians have been urged to subscribe to appointed solid waste collectors to help manage solid waste in the country. According to the Lusaka Integrated Solid Waste Management Company, the accumulating solid waste in Lusaka City at undesignated dump sites is mainly as a result of use of unregistered solid waste collectors. Indiscriminate disposal of waste has been an issue of concern for most parts of the country, and Lusaka City is no exception. Undesignated dumping sites have mushroomed throughout the city, prompting urgent action by the local authorities. The Lusaka Integrated Waste Management Company has been engaged by the Lusaka City Council to help manage solid waste in the city, and company CEO Imwana Mwanamwalye has called on citizens to help complement government efforts in managing solid waste.
The waste is being generated by the residents. As the residents, the people are the people that are generating the waste. So it is important that everybody comes together to ensure that waste does not reaccumulate at those particular sites. We have within our communities organizations, entities that have been appointed to collect refuse. It is important that we subscribe. Businesses, residences, let's subscribe to these waste collection companies so that our waste is collected and taken to the disposal site. Let's avoid the tendency to engage our colleagues who are pushing the wheelbarrows. Those are not taking waste to the designated sites. The cost may appear to be lower, but they are just transferring waste from one point of our community to the other. It is important that we use the designated waste collection companies.
Unfortunately, some of this waste is contributing to blockage of drainages, and government is concerned with this situation.
Blockage of drainages is a thing that we can prevent. We don't have to spend money to unblock drainages, because when you construct these drainages, they are not blocked anyway. They are block free. But we, the human activities, we the people, the residents of Lusaka, through our human activities, tend to block these drainages. Now you can imagine, I should have been looking for money now to construct more market spaces, trading spaces in Lusaka. But I'm going to direct that money to unblock a drainage because of human activities.
Effective solid waste management will indeed help to keep the country clean and prevent disease outbreak. Seramiti for Zanis in Lusaka. And that report brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, we take a look at the headlines once again. Government launches Agricultural Asset Plus loan scheme. Digitalization of councils to enhance data management. Women advised to check for ovarian cysts. And that is all we had for you in this edition of Zanis News. Thank you so much for joining us. And on behalf of the entire production team, this has been Seramiti. Pleasant viewing.